Now I'm finally gonna get home and enjoy it with some Burger King. Here I go, baby! Burger King! Burger King! Yo! And talk to Bob Bear, cause he's my man. Don King, kiss my ass.
No problem, here we go. How you doing, everyone? My name is Ryan and this is Ade, and welcome back to another edition of Box Talk. Kell Brook finally gets his title shot after a year of mishaps, ups and downs, injuries. Unfortunately now, it's no longer Devin Alexander. He's got to face the new young guy on the block, Shawn Porter. Ade, what do you think of this fight?
Not a problem for Kell Brook. Not a problem whatsoever. Look, this fight, and like you say, Kell Brook's been waiting ages. We, the British public, the fans, have been waiting ages. I've been watching Kell Brook since he won the British title, and I've been eager. Even then to say, okay, look, send him over to America. Let's see what he can do. Everyone has fighters at their own pace. Some like to send their fighters over quickly. You get beat, you still stay in that American mix. Some like to never send their fighters over. It's what you do. With Kell Brook, like Ryan said, he's been unlucky to an extent. There's a few injuries in there. Devin Alexander was injured. Yeah. Kell Brook was injured. Then Kell Brook was injured again. So he's unfortunate in that sense. And, like Ryan said, he's unfortunate in the sense that he doesn't get a Randall Bailey. That I think it would have been a tough fight, but he probably would have won. Tough fight. He doesn't even get a Devin Alexander, who I think Kell Brook would have eventually been too strong and too big for in the latter rounds. Doesn't get a Paulie Malignaggi, which would have been a decent boxing lesson, but I think Kell Brook would have, again, been a bit too much after I saw what Amir Khan done to Paulie Malignaggi. And considering how small Paulie is compared to Kell, he does get what Ryan says completely. He gets the toughest out of the bunch in Shawn Porter. Nonetheless, I expect Kell Brook to win, and we're going to break down why he thinks Shawn will win. I think Kell will win.
See the thing with Kell Brook, Special K. He's got skills, not gonna lie. He looks good, he does everything well, but I don't see what the hype is about him. And the strictly reason why I don't rate his level of competition.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's got a high ranking, mandatory shot. Ring Magazine has him about number 4.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I think they changed it, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think they got Porter up above him now. Yeah.
When you look at everyone in the top 10 in divisions, Kell Brook's got this. He ain't put no one ranked in the top 15. No, be right, top 20. No, get it right, top 25 most probably. He hasn't fought no one. I don't see how he could get a title shot or be rated so highly on potential, not substance. There's other guys in divisions that's come up in the past year, 18 months, like Porter, who've fought more legitimate guys already. It doesn't mean Kell Brook's a bad fighter, but I ain't seen the proof yet that he's really on that level. Also, considering this, that since Kell's been a pro, the 147 division has been mostly the hottest division consistently through that time.
What does that mean?
That there's always been contenders in there, always been good fights to have, and he ain't fought none of them.
Yeah, but he's not been ready to fight then. Look.
So how do you get a number 4th ranking or get a mandatory shot?
No, the ring rankings are the ring rankings.
No, all the rankings.
No. Well, no, the IBF obviously, but what WBO, WBA, WBC, he's high. I don't think he's that high on all of them, but I know what you mean. Look, rankings are one of those things that look. One thing I completely agree with you on is that he definitely doesn't deserve to be ranked above certain other fighters in that division that are even ranked below him. Like, for example, Keith Thurman already has proven to me in stopping Jose Soto Carrasco, who definitely is a real strong gatekeeper, that he's almost ready for that mix already. So he's definitely fought better opposition than Kell and a lot quicker. The thing for me is that obviously this fight has been almost spoke about for months now, probably 4 or 5 months since. Sorry, it's longer than that. Yeah. Since Shawn Porter beat Devin Alexander, it's been like, will Kell get the fight? So it's given us the opportunity to go on YouTube and study both fighters. Kell Brook, I've watched on Sky Sports for years, so I almost didn't need to study him, but I wanted to see what Shawn Porter has. Unlike most fans, me and Ryan, we sit down, we look at fighters a lot. I don't just go off 1 or 2 fights. I like to look at their back catalogue and see how good really are they, and what adjustments have they made to go from basically A to B. I've watched Shawn Porter's fights against Julio Diaz. Let's forget Shawn Porter turned pro. I think Teddy Atlas said it says a middleweight, not even a light middleweight, guys, a middleweight. And then he's come down and he's now kind of at a welterweight. I watched these 2 fights before Devin Alexander and Paulie Malignaggi. The big ones were Alfonso Gomez and Julio Diaz. Wars. He was in a war against both of those. So much so Julio Diaz, they had to do a rematch because the first fight was so close. It was a split decision. One judge gave it a draw. So it was a very, very close fight. Kell Brook beats both of those to me convincingly. Julio Diaz is a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but he's a good small fighter. He's a lightweight, really, coming up, a lightweight that's coming up against a really bona fide welterweight. The point I'm trying to make right now is I don't believe all the hype so much about Shawn Porter. I've watched his fight, even the fight against Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie Malignaggi, we know, can't punch shit. I like the guy a lot, but he's not even going to hurt me. Yeah. He can't hit. He rushed him, knowing that he's not going to get hurt. He rushed him. Exactly. You know, he's not. And that's the thing for me. You can't. I don't think he'll be able to rush Kell Brook the same way. It'll be a boxing match, and I genuinely believe, after watching both guys, Kell Brook's the better boxer. That's what I believe.
See, here's the difference. What I've got with that same story. Where you're right, where you're saying that Porter had problems on his contendership to where he got to where he went to.
I wouldn't say contendership. That's the thing. I'm talking about fights just a year ago.
Yeah,
that's the thing. But
people change within a year. A year means training camps, being in the gym, doing things, putting things together, putting the pieces together in here to make the game work.
Yeah.
When he came up against Devin Alexander, who again was a 2-weight world champion, some people, when you look at say people's top 15, top 20 pound for pound list, his name is there. It means he's a talented fighter, a talented boxer, and he done the job.
Yeah,
he went from the contender level to being a world champion and beat a legitimate world champion.
100% agree.
He went again after and went Paulie Malignaggi. Yeah. The same Paulie Malignaggi that ran Adrian Broner close, and everyone said that fight could have possibly went to Malignaggi.
Means nothing. I don't really.
Malignaggi again is a 2-weight world champion, and he steamrolled him as well.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at boxing and you're talking about styles, what is Kell Brook? He's a boxer. Yeah. He's not a boxer puncher. He's not a stomach. He's a boxer. What is Devin Alexander? A boxer.
A small boxer.
What is Paulie Malignaggi?
A boxer.
Small,
tiny boxer.
When you're looking at development for Shawn Porter, those two fights would set him in a good pace for this fight with Devin.
Agree. It's a good point you make there. Look, the thing for me is that the Devin Alexander fight, Devin Alexander is a boxer. Devin Alexander, I don't know what he's doing at 147. He really is 140. And mentally, I think, since I watched him against Timothy Bradley, I thought he was going to be the next Bernard Hopkins in terms of the Philly thing. I thought he was going to have someone. Since that Timothy Bradley loss, not too sure about Devin anymore. Not taking away from Thing's performance, it was still yet to step up and do it.
Aggression was gone.
Aggression was gone. He wasn't that same guy that, as confident that I'm going to stop you and put you... Do you know what I mean?
Spiteful body shot against Urango or stuff like that.
Exactly. No one could put Urango down. Urango was that tank that you couldn't stop.
He can't stood his ground and for combinations and put it on you,
I didn't see that same guy against Shawn Porter. Again, not taking that performance away from Shawn Porter, I didn't. I think he's in the wrong weight division. And so that power that he had, that he showed at 140... Like almost Roberto Guerrero, they're having to slug it out now. So we're losing a lot of their boxing skills. We're having trying to dig deep a bit more. Paulie Malignaggi, again, he's a 140 guy. Paulie Malignaggi said after the fight with Shawn Porter that this is, his strength surprised me. Watch what Paulie Malignaggi says against after Amir Khan. He said exactly the same thing, that his speed, his strength, he was too big. That's Amir Khan at 140. Kell Brook's a big, very big 147 guy. I think these two are probably similar in size and they have to bore themselves down. I think Shawn Porter is probably a bit bigger, which might tell in the later rounds as well. Another thing about Kell Brook that I really do like is the Carson Jones thing. A lot of people said, he got checked in the Carson Jones. You get checked in the Carson Jones fight, which he did, and it was a tough fight. The one thing that you don't really want to do is take that fight again. He did. He took it and stopped him in the later rounds. Probably an early stoppage, but he almost had to say, look, this is what I can do if I really train for you. And I like that. I like that mentally. You could either go two ways. You can do what David Price did against Tony Thompson and it completely destroys you. Or you can do what he did against Carson Jones and take the fight, beat him and say, okay, I've moved on from that.
See, here's the thing with the Carson Jones fight for me is where Carson Jones, let's be fair, is a decent fighter. I just go back, but he's not a world ranked fighter.
No, of course he isn't.
Yeah? And in that fight,
Alfonso Gomez.
But after that point, Porter shown something. Kell still hasn't. And here's the
Has he not?
But here's the thing.
Sorry to interrupt you very quickly. Sorry. Has he not, in the sense that I didn't really like the Sinchenko matchup. I thought, why he fought But he did what he needed to do and got him out there in round, was it 4 or 5? He
got him early, got him quite early.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do against supposed the guys that you're supposed to beat. That's all you can do is get them out there.
The Sinchenko fight with me was a setup fight in the sense they've got Sinchenko because he's a former world title who wasn't very, very active overall. Since the Paulie Malignaggi beat him. And then they got him because of the Ricky Hatton fight because he was a name like the guy that beat Ricky Hatton. That's why they got him in there. But in reality, if Sinchenko didn't beat Hatton, he would not be in that fight. I agree. That's the only reason they're going. There's a fight which I call good marketing.
And I think the same thing, although at a different level, I think the same thing for Paulie Malignaggi as well. Paulie Malignaggi was put in there to make him look good. Look, Paulie Malignaggi, as good as he is, I can't remember the last time he's beaten anyone of any note at 147.
Paulie's kind of the guy that loses the big fights.
There you go.
With Cotto, with Hatton. I get the point. He won the Zab.
He won the Zab. He's probably one of the best performances against Juan Diaz, who really is a 135 guy. You know what I mean? So I think both of them are putting fights to make themselves look good for this fight.
What I was going to say about the Carson Jones fight is that fight showed me that Kell is not, I won't say he's being babied, but like when he had his nose blast and blood, it's like, oh, I'm bleeding. It's like you saw that kind of panic.
Never had that before.
You never had that before. And it's like, how can you be a pro for so long, get all this contendership, get everything you have, and again, it was a bad nosebleed, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But you could see the fear and the panic that he'd never been put in that situation before. And I feel that those are the things which validates my point where I said he hasn't been tested.
You say that, yeah. I watched the other day, Showtime behind the scenes shit. Mayweather Maidana. Mayweather got nasty cut under the eye. He went back to the corner and he was almost like, my blood's in my eye, I don't know what to do. Yeah. It can happen to anyone. We're talking about pound for pound. No. Yeah. You're talking about a guy that's 47 and 48 and 0. 48 and 0, 7-weight world champion, wherever he is, and blood went in his eye, and it was a panic for a second. So the difference is, Kevin, if you've not had something happen to you, you will panic when it happens. Anyone. The
difference is with Floyd Mayweather fight is because Mayweather is mostly the best defensive fighter of his generation. Yeah. So he never really took any clean shots from an amateur or a pro. So that's why that happened to him, I feel. Where Kell Brook, as good as he is, he's not on a Mayweather level.
No, obviously he's not on a Mayweather level, but regardless, it still happened to be #1 fighter out there. He got a cut and he was like, wow, what's going on? That's why, look, I just feel like you only can beat what's put in front of you. So as much as we criticise Kell, and Kell's still that big question mark, but as much as we criticise him in terms of what have you done and why you are in his rankings, he's beaten what's been put in front of him. And I think, again, when are they fighting again? August 16th?
August 16th.
He'll beat what's put in front of him.
I don't think so. I do not think so. Prediction time. Here's how it's going to go. Kell Brook, like I said, I think he's talented. I think he's got skills. I like his speed. I think he's got good power. Yeah. I think technically he's well-rounded. Yeah. But I think if he hasn't been tested, he fights at one pace. Yeah. He's never. I mean, Carson Jones turned the heat up a tiny bit, and then Kell seems to go into panic mode. I mean, I don't think he's going to have enough of that world-class, tough, gritty experience that you need to go and win a successful world title. Again, traveling abroad as well. Yeah. I don't think it's his fight. I think Porter's I think the fight will be close for maybe 4 or 5 rounds. And then I think Porter's going to really open up and put it on him. And I'm predicting chances are a late stoppage.
Wow.
For Shawn Porter.
Me and Ryan are going to have a little side bet on this one. We've never done this before, guys. So we don't kind of popularize gambling or anything like that. This is not a gambling show. We're going to have a side bet on this one because I am not convinced with Porter at all. Look, he's a good fighter. His name's been linked with Mayweather and all sorts. It's absolutely ridiculous. Watch his style. It's almost similar to the way Bradley fights now. Not Bradley before when Bradley's at 140, but the way Bradley fights at 147 now, which is, let's slug. I'm stronger than you, I'm bigger than you, let's see what you can do. The thing for me, he didn't fight no top light middleweights when it was coming down the weight in terms of his welterweight fighters, he's not fought, to me, right now as we speak, a legit 147 guy. I mean, a guy that probably boils down from 160 to 147. He's been in against Devin Alexandra, tiny. Paulo Malignaggi, tiny. Julio Diaz, tiny. Alfonso Gomez, tiny. He's now coming up against a guy that I think is genuinely a genuine big 147 guy that can crack as well. Look, I'm not going to say Kell Brook's going to go to America and completely steamroll him. That's stupid. I think it's going to be a competitive fight, and I think Kell Brook's going to win this. I really think about it. Again, as we always say, someone's always got to go. And I don't know. But I'm going to have a little side bet of Ryan, Jack Daniel bottle.
Jack Daniels or Cavossier.
Single barrel Jack Daniels.
I can live with that.
And I'm going Kell Brook, Ryan's going Shawn Porter. But look, guys, who you going? This is the big one. This is the one we've been waiting for Kell Brook for 2 or 3 years, easy. Honestly, it's about that long. Who wins this fight? Will there be a pull-up before the fight even happens? We've got, 3-4 weeks? Will there be a pull-up? But guys, look, leave your comments below. The video's ran a bit. I've been talking far too much. Email us at
BoxTalk@hotmail.co.uk, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter at BoxTalkUK, and wave the American flag for Shawn Porter.
Can you believe that? Can you hear that slight American accent in this guy's voice as well? Look, guys, hit the subscribe button as well. Subscribe to us. As Ryan said, leave your comments below. Don't forget to check out ringnews24.com as well for all the latest blogs and videos, etc., etc. Big one this. I'm sweating. I'm excited. Kell Brook all the way, baby.